All right, so welcome back to Supper and Suds. If you haven't seen me put out any videos for a while, it's because I haven't. Had a couple issues. If you'll notice, if you watched my last segment when we fixed a pot roast, you will notice that there was a big empty space right here. Well, my microwave crapped out, died, and the world as it is, I had a hard time finding a microwave. So anyway, got a new microwave, got that installed, got it working, and then actually I was on vacation for a week doing some hunting. So hadn't made any new segments. So one of the things that I talked to a couple people about, one of my favorite meals to fix, it's kind of a standalone meal. It's not one of those things that roll into another day or two. But you can have leftovers with this, but this is a great meal. It's something that a lot of people go and eat out and buy, and it's fajitas. I love fajitas. I absolutely love them. They're really not very hard to fix. They don't take a lot of time, and you can have a great meal and feed a large, you can feed a family with these things. But if you're single, a couple, whatever the case may be, this makes a great meal. Now, if you've not seen any of these segments before, I'll just give you a quick rundown. The premise behind this thing is that I'm single, I live alone, and so over a period of time, I've learned how to cook for myself. But I've also learned how to make the most out of the time spent in the kitchen. I do like cooking, but I don't have a lot of time. I'm busy, I work a full-time job, got a lot of stuff going on. So I try to maximize the time spent in the kitchen to simplify my life a little bit, right? The other thing is that as well, it's easy to get in the habit, especially if you're single, of just stopping off and grabbing something on the way home from work, or grabbing fast food, going out to eat, whatever the case may be. And the problem with those things is that, number one, it's expensive, and it's becoming more expensive every day. And number two, it's not generally very healthy. We tend to overeat, overdrink, etc. So the other thing that we do on this video series is that we like to try some different kind of beer. I like to drink a beer now and then, but I don't like to drink the same old thing every day. I do have my go-tos if I'm out or something, but I do like to try new stuff. And so on this segment, in addition to some fajitas we're gonna make, we're gonna try this Kugel's summer shandy. Now, maybe we're a little getting out of the season for this. It's fall, late fall really, and this is still out there and available. I have never tried this beer. Actually, I saw it in Walmart. You can buy, there was plenty of it in there. So anyway, so what I'm going to show you how to do is make fajitas the way I make them. Guys, you don't have to use my recipes. You can do whatever you want. You can add to, take away, but this is the way I do them. So I have done a little pre-preparation, and guys, I timed it. This took about less than 15 minutes for me to prep. I am gonna have steak fajitas this evening. So I have some steak, I have some red and green peppers. I also have some tomato and onion. Now, one of the things that you can do, obviously some commercial fajita seasoning, I got hot sauce, cheese, and all that stuff. So while I'm talking here, I'm gonna put a couple tablespoons of olive oil in my pan. We're gonna start heating that up. And really, when I cook this steak in the beginning, I just wanna kind of brown it, because it's gonna continue cooking after we put the vegetables and stuff in. We don't wanna overcook it. Guys, you can substitute chicken for this. But what I wanna talk to you about is some of the prep on this. Listen, you'll get out of season on some of this stuff. Green and red peppers especially. Guys, you can slice these up. You can put them in a freezer bag and roll those up and put them in the freezer, and they really do keep all winter. The key is getting try to get all the air out of the bag, okay? Air is not your friend when you're freezing anything, whether it be vegetables or meat or anything like that. So they make some commercial bags. I actually have a commercial shrink wrap machine here so I can vacuum seal stuff. But actually a lot of stuff like that, I just take a freezer bag and get all the air out of it, roll it up tight, put them in the freezer. I have a whole bunch of peppers in there. I got some fresh ones because they're still available. I don't want to use my freezer stock. So guys, if you don't like tomatoes, you don't like onions, just don't put them in there. You can add or take away to this as you want. The other thing, in the wintertime, sometimes it gets difficult to find good fresh tomatoes. Guys, you can buy canned, diced tomatoes, and they're fantastic. They're quick, they're easy, they're not very expensive, and so keep those things in mind. The other thing I want to tell you is that you don't have to use premium cuts of meat for a dish like this. You don't have to use ribeye or New York strip steak. They make a lot of cheaper cuts of steak that are thin cut, not really what you want to use for a steak, because I like a steak thick, right? That's the key to fixing a good steak. This is a thinner cut it into little strips, and it's a lot less expensive. As you know, beef has gone through the roof. You can reduce cost on this dish by substituting chicken. I love the chicken fajitas just as well. So, and guys, you can actually, depending on your taste, you're gonna have Thanksgivings coming up. Guys, you can make this dish with leftover turkey, and it's fantastic. Okay, I have done that before. So we got our pan warm here, got our oil warmed up. We're just gonna put our steak in there, and really all I want to do is brown this a little bit, if you can see it. Okay, so we're just gonna stir that around a little bit. Okay, again, you don't want to overcook this. You just want to brown it a little bit. And then we're going to add our vegetables, our seasoning, and we're going to rock and roll with this. So while that's kind of browning there, I'm going to open this Kugel's Summer Shandy, and we're going to see what we got here. Now I noticed right away that's kind of got some, it's kind of a cloudy looking color to it, so it's going to be interesting. I have never had this before. I've heard of it. I've seen it in the stores. Now I'm going to tell you immediately, the nose on this is very citrus. You can read on the labels. A lot of times they take a big thing and tell you it's hints of this and that. I don't take too much sense of that stuff, right? So we got a nice little head on that, but the nose on that is very citrus. So I'm gonna let that simmer down a little bit there. All right. The price of meat, the 3-second rule has gone to 5 seconds. I'm actually gonna give that to my dog. Okay. So anyway, we're just browning this up a little bit. I'm going to add in my seasoning pack. Now, a little tip here. Usually you have to throw in just a little bit of water real quick, and we're going to kind of bring that up to a boil a little bit, that water, just to kind of caramelize it. This helps us not to overcook this meat too, right? So while that's on the stove, we're going to take a little sip of this. It's Kugel's. Now, as I've told in segments in the past, kind of the first drink of a beer, I'm kind of getting an idea of the flavors there, but it's the second taste is when you really get a good idea of what you got. So while that's doing that, we're gonna add our vegetables. Okay. And there we go. So that's that. Now, guys, I like to mix this around a little bit, get everything kind of mixed up. I actually cook this on kind of a medium-high heat, so you got to be careful that you don't scorch it. The reason I do that is this. We kind of want to cook this and caramelize it quickly enough that we cook it, but yet when we're done with it, our vegetables still have some crispness to them. If we put this on low heat and cook it really slow, when you get done, your vegetables are going to be mush. And I like a little crispness to my vegetables when this dish is done. So I've got that really on medium-high heat. So let's take another drink of our Leinenkugels here. Again, that's got a very citrus nose to it. So this is a daggum good beer. I haven't tried this before, but I like it. It definitely has citrus, hits you hard up front, even across the palate, and it's not over sweet. You get maybe a little more of lemon peel on the back, just a touch of that bitter, but it's not overwhelming. I might have told you before, I'm not a fan of bitter. A little bit is good, and that's really, really fantastic. As you can see, it's got a little cloudiness to it, kind of interesting, but that really goes down nice. As I've said before, I'm a fan of the finish. So that beer finish is really nice. It doesn't have a lingering bitter aftertaste. Obviously, we got all our beers, you can taste a little bit, obviously, that grain, but it's not a heavy hoppy beer. I don't care as much for that. That is a nice beer. So I will actually be keeping my eye out for that when I'm out. That could be a daily drinker, especially in the summertime. I can get how they call that a summer shandy. It's kind of got a light citrusy flavor to it that really is nice. So good, is a nice surprise here with the Leinenkugels Summer Shandy. I'm not sure if that's just produced seasonally. Kind of got a feeling maybe it is. So I've never really, I don't even know if I've ever had a Leinenkugels product. Maybe I have, but I sure like this one. So guys, what we're trying to do here, as you can see, I brought this to a boil, and we want to try to boil off this excess moisture. We don't want these we don't want a soup here, right? We want to get rid of this, but you don't want to pour it off. You want to boil it off because that kind of caramelizes it and you keep all that flavor in there, all that seasoning. If you pour it off, you're ruining them, all right? So, folks, this meal really, prep time can be done in about 30 minutes or so. Not too bad for an evening meal. If you do freeze your peppers, a quick thaw out trick is just throw some hot water in the sink, throw the bag of peppers in the sink. Guys, those things will be thawed out within a few, while you're doing prep, other stuff, just throw it in there and they'll be thawed in no time. I wouldn't suggest putting them in frozen. And the other trick, anytime you're fixing anything like this, is you want your meat to be room temperature. Too many people pull something right out of the fridge, their meat. Chicken's not such a big deal. Beef, red meat, if you pull it straight out of the fridge and you cook it, you throw a steak on the grill, you throw something in the oven, it changes how that cooks. It will not be the same. So if you're not doing that, that's a real trick. So I'm gonna finish these up and I'll be right back with you. All right, so I'm back. Our fajitas, guys, there they are. These are as good as any restaurant fajitas that you're gonna buy out there, and you are not gonna spend near as much money. I don't know really what I got in this, but I don't know, 10 bucks, maybe 15, but I don't think there's that much in there. So one of the things I was gonna say, I did read a label on the Leinenkugel, said brewed with honey and natural lemon flavor. I don't know what that means, but you'll definitely get hit with that. The citrus and the honey across the top, that little bit of sweetness, and then that, I call it lemon peel on the back end. So nice beer. Glad I picked that up, and it really pairs well with this meal. So guys, there it is. Steak fajitas. Easy fix. From start to finish, folks, this is about a 40-minute meal to prep. That's not bad after working all day. 40 minutes, not bad at all. And for me, there's leftovers, right? So I can have those again. I like a little Mex cheese on mine, okay? And then obviously, as you may well know, my favorite hot sauce, Cholula. Still can't find any big bottles of this. You can maybe catch these little ones, but the big bottles, I don't know what the deal is with that. So anyway, got some fantastic steak fajitas, some good Leinenkugels. I'm gonna take a bite of one of these. I do wanna say, if you like these segments, please give me a like, please subscribe to it. Tell your friends about it if you like it. Because if the interest is not there, I probably won't keep doing it, but I do have some subscribers and some people have asked me about it. So it's kind of fun, I enjoy doing it. Got smoking hot. But guys, just like I told you, the vegetables are still, there's some crispness to them, and that's a key. You don't want to cook those low and slow because your vegetables will get soggy. You won't like it. And a lot of times when you go to a restaurant, that's exactly what you're gonna find too. Is that stuff's been setting, it's pre-cooked, it's been setting around, they kind of warm it up, and those vegetables will just, they're a soggy mess. Medium, high heat, but you gotta keep after it because you don't want to scorch it on the bottom. So boil off that excess liquid. As soon as it caramelizes, bam, you're ready to go. So anyway, I hope you liked this segment. Again, if you did, give me a like, subscribe, tell your friends about it, and I got some cool things coming up, and we'll see you next time. Till then, I'm out.